Hello, this is part 2 of the tutorial Space with the Resources and Community Coordinated Modeling Center. So in part 1 we looked at how you can use Community Coordinated Modeling Center resources to request large-scale numerical simulations of different space weather domains. So in this tutorial we'll be looking at how you can actually use the simulations already existing in the ccmc database to visualize and analyze the results from some of these models. Okay, so let's start first by going again to the ccmc main homepage, which is ccmc.gsfc.nasa.gov. And that will land us on the ccmc main page. What I should highlight here as well is that ccmc is doing a lot of metrics and validation analysis on the models that are being hosted in the center. So if you're interested in looking at how these models actually perform against actual observations, you can check this metrics and validation link. And here is this is an entry point for a lot of additional information in terms of observations versus model output. For example, if you click here, GEM Metrics Challenge, and look, for example, time series plotting tool, here are several events that community has been analyzing. For example, in terms of reproducing the ground magnetic field perturbations, let's pick one of the ground stations here, Yellowknife, for example, and then we can select different models that have been submitted for these metrics and validation challenges. And then I'm not going to discuss this part too much in detail. You're going to have to go and check the interface yourself, but let's just quickly update the plot to give you a general idea here. So then the system generates you a time series of observations with the black curve versus model simulations, and here you can start to quickly get a feeling for how well these models predict the behavior of certain parameters representing the state of the space environment. Okay, so definitely go ahead and check also the metrics and validation excuse me, part of the ccmc package here. But let's now focus more in detail actually visualizing some of the simulations already existing in the ccmc database. For that, let's click the View Results link. And in the part 1 of this tutorial, we looked at requesting eventually RG-NLEL and cone model simulations to look at the propagation of coronal mass ejections in the interplanetary medium. So let's go ahead and check if we have already such simulations here in the database. So let's click a heliosphere model results link, and that brings us into a search page. And now I have carried out earlier CME simulations to look at what we call Valentine's CME event that took place last year, year 2011. So let's look for those simulations. So let's type here Valentine and then search, and that brings us the 3 hits for 3 different simulations that I carried out to analyze that event more in detail. Let's click the second one of these simulations here, and that brings us to the main page of the simulation itself. Okay, so now when you have requested a simulation through ccmc simulation request interface, depending on the size of the run you requested, it may take a few days for the ccmc to execute the simulation. And then you will get a reply to your email box, and that email will have a link, and that link will bring you to the page like this for the simulation that you have requested. The main page has some basic information about the simulation you have requested, what kind of a what was the model type, what exact model you used, and a lot of, for example, inner boundary condition information here. Now, in this case, we're looking at actually RGNL and cone model simulations. So we have, for example, information about the control file that was used to actually run the simulation. Here is we have more information about the boundary conditions and model settings. And then we have also quick look graphics for the run that you can check first to see or get some kind of overview of the simulation results. So here in the quick look section for this specific model, we have a lot of different visualizations of different parameters through various cuts through the 3D space. For example, if we look at the top plot here, I'm not going to go into details of the model itself, but here we have visualized the plasma density scaled with the radial distance squared from the Sun. And for example, the center is the Sun, the orbit of the Earth is this yellow circle here, and you can see that we have two clouds, two coronal mass ejections that propagate from the inner boundary of the model and then actually hit also the Earth's environment. So you can use this quick plot to get a quick feeling for what's going on in the simulation itself. All right. So let's then go back to the main page of the simulation. And here you can have also you have options for plotting time series at individual planets. For example, if you're looking at what the model predicts at the Earth's orbit, you can use this interface here. Again, there are quite a few buttons and fields to fill out. Let's not go into details here of this specific page, but let's just quickly plot, for example, radial velocity. Let's plot magnetic field and let's plot also density coming out of the simulation at the Earth's orbit. And just let's go ahead and plot whatever comes out. And that brings you the visualization of the model prediction at the orbit of the Earth for these three selected parameters. And this allows you to start doing more detailed analysis exactly what happened in the model at the orbit of the Earth. You can do similar kind of things for three-dimensional data, or visualize the three-dimensional data in the simulation, and for that you can click the View 3D Data link. And now this brings us to the main page or main interface of the visualization itself. Now at ccmc, all models and visualizations for all models follow the same philosophy that we have also on this page. So although this can look a little bit intimidating at first, when you go, there are a lot of options to select from. The same idea, same philosophy applies for all the models being hosted at ccmc. So you really need to learn the visualization flow only once, and then you can use that same flow to visualize all the models at ccmc. Of course, there are some variations in terms of, depending on what kind of a domain you're actually simulating, what kind of parameters are available as an output from the simulation and so forth, but the basic flow is almost identical for all models. So let's use now, in this case, pretty much the default settings. We can check some specific timestamp from the simulation. Let's just pick some time from the mid-section of the CME simulation here. Let's do a little bit of a larger image magnification level 2. And let's stick with the default plotting parameters here. We're plotting the density scale with r squared to see better the structures further out in the heliosphere. And then we can go ahead and update the plot. And depending on the size of the simulation, again, it can take few seconds to actually generate the image at the ccmc servers. This is a smaller simulation, so the plot is being created quite fast. And here's the actual simulation using the options that we selected. now we have density here, and you can see that we have this density enhancement in the simulation and in this specific timestamp, and this now allows us to start carry out more detailed analysis of the propagation of this coronal mass ejection in through the simulation domain. Now, one of the cool features in this interface is that you can use this to also list data. So you can actually extract also numerical data from the simulation directly through this interface. So you can click the list data link and then fill out appropriate fields here to extract actual numerical data from different locations in the simulation, and then you can download that numerical data through here and start using your own tools for even more detailed analysis of the simulation results. That's one way of getting the actual numerical data. This is really quick and a nice way of getting the numerical data. But the ccmc also provides an option to actually retrieve the full three-dimensional raw output data from the simulation if you want. So you can request that raw output from the ccmc, and they will place it for you to FTP server, and then you can download it from there and use your own, for example, your own visualization tools to start looking at the simulation results more in detail. Okay, but the visualization interface directly provided by ccmc also has a lot of cool options, so you can carry out quite detailed analysis using the options available through here. So that's really the basic flow of doing the visualizations and analysis of the simulation results at ccmc, and the same flow as I mentioned really applies for all the models hosted at ccmc.